Hey everybody, how's it going? I hope you're all having an excellent weekend, and I hope that all of you have a kitten that looks at you the same way that this little kitten named Blackberry looks at me. She makes my weekend so much better, and she's so cute. So, today what I'd like to discuss is how medical equipment device manufacturers are starting to clamp down more and more on websites that are trying to make medical equipment device repair manuals available so that this equipment can be repaired affordably and quickly for hospitals and medical establishments that need them to work. There's a website called iFixit. They have many guides posted on their site and repair manuals and resources. Some of it is great, top-notch stuff. Some of it, not so much. A lot of this content is user-contributed, some good, some bad, but it is a net plus for the community as a whole that all of this stuff is put there and can be edited and revised and made better by people who want to make the site better at what they do. Usually this has been consumer electronics, cell phones, laptops, every now and then a home appliance, but recently they decided, let's see what we can do regarding medical device repair. They made a great push to get as much stuff related to medical device repair on their site as possible after the coronavirus pandemic, and you can see some of that here. Now, since they did that, they have been getting in hot water with some of these companies and getting these types of cease and desist letters regarding the manuals on their site. Medical equipment device manufacturers don't like maintenance manuals being up publicly so that people can get access to the information they need to fix life-saving medical equipment. This makes me sad. I like to believe that the world is not a black and white place, that there are shades of gray, that there are reasons the world is the way it is, and that we should seek to understand those reasons rather than simply project our worst possible case scenario assumptions and label these people the evil boogeymen. But it's really hard to do when you read stuff like this, so I'll read the letter and give you some of my thoughts. Dear Mr. Weens, I am the Chief Intellectual Property Counsel at Steris. It has come to my attention that you have been reproducing certain installation and maintenance manuals relating to our products, documentation which is protected under copyright law. An example of this can be found at your website. Your own website appears to acknowledge that this constitutes copyright infringement. They say service manuals are proprietary. Please discontinue this willful activity and remove all Steris copyrighted materials from your site within 10 days of this letter. We otherwise reserve all rights in relation to this matter. Sincerely, Steris Corporation, Russell S. Wheatley, Chief Intellectual Property Counsel. I would like an explanation as to what it is that makes this a moral or ethical action to take. Don't point to a 90 or 120-year-old copyright law written long before we even had most of the technology that we do now, that was written before large companies were using the law to keep people from fixing medical equipment that saves lives. Before any of that. Point me to the honest-to-God, ethical or moral reason that this is a good thing to do. That this is a good letter to write, that this is a good action to take in the middle of a global pandemic. The reason that many of us are on house arrest, the reason that you may not be considered essential, may not be able to work, is because of the coronavirus and the fear that it was going to overwhelm the healthcare system, and as a result of overwhelming the healthcare system, screw everyone's ability to have access to healthcare if they get sick. One of the elements of the healthcare system being overwhelmed is equipment failing to function and then not having the gear they need to do their job. Also at a time when hospitals are losing revenue from other elective surgeries that they may be able, or procedures they may be able to perform that they're not able to perform, budgets may be at an all-time low, meaning the ability to purchase new may not be there. I also don't want to hear, we just want to protect our brand against people fixing stuff that shouldn't be fixing stuff because that's bad. The FDA's own study on this shows that the currently available objective evidence is not sufficient to conclude whether or not there is a widespread public health concern related to servicing, including by third-party servicers, of medical devices that would justify imposing additional or different burdensome regulatory requirements at this time. Rather, the objective evidence indicates that many OEMs and third-party entities provide high-quality, safe, and effective servicing of medical devices, and a majority of comments, complaints, and adverse effects reports alleging inadequate servicing caused or contribute to clinical adverse effects and deaths actually pertain to remanufacturing and not servicing. And above all, the continued availability of third-party entities to service and repair medical devices is critical to the functioning of the U.S. healthcare system. Not a right to repair activist saying that. The FDA. And in spite of those who would claim otherwise, you don't have hospitals or medical equipment companies banging down my door to get us to fix their medical equipment. Because while I may be very good at servicing devices within my niche field, as anybody who may watch me work on my bike may know, I'm not exactly the person you want fixing other types of electronics or devices, which is fine. These manuals being out there have not caused hospitals in my area to knock on my door and say, Lewis, will you fix these surgical tools or ventilator? Because I have no idea how to work on those devices. I am not qualified to work on those devices. They ask qualified people to work on those devices, and then qualified people will then need access to the manuals. So explain to me how sending out cease and desist letters to people who are trying to make manuals and repair information available to the people who are allowing our healthcare system to continue functioning is a bad thing. Explain your side of the story. Explain to me, Russell, how what it is that you're doing is right and what Kyle is doing is wrong. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. I'll see you all in the next video. So will BlackBerry. Actually, wait a second. You're not BlackBerry. Is this... Clinton, did you kick BlackBerry off the side of the chair? Clinton kicked BlackBerry off the side of the chair.